Hello and welcome. I'm Glimo. I'm the Keeper of the Chronicles for this Call of Cthulhu Masks of Nyarlathotep campaign. Streaming on Twitch and YouTube, courtesy of Roll20. Thank you very much for tuning in. Welcome to session 31. What horrors will our heroes unearth in Egypt this week? The real world continues to look like a Lovecraft story. I'm going a little stir crazy in my quarantine chamber. We had one really nice day weather-wise yesterday, and now it's back to a solid week of cold rain for penance. How's everyone else doing? Sean, what's going on with you?
Not much. I moved my D&D group that I DM onto the virtual space, and it's been an interesting challenge. And the only other really big thing I'm happy about is Chaosium has introduced a warehouse in Canada, so they're now shipping from within Canada. Woohoo! Because you don't know how much that's going to save me money.
Nice, nice. Carl, what's going on with you?
Oh man. The governor of Massachusetts canceled school for the rest of the year. So that's bad. Because it basically means homeschooling for the rest of the year, plus camps may or may not be open, plus school may or may not be open in the fall. So so that. So I need to figure out how to maintain basically my limited work schedule now indefinitely. Otherwise, what else can go wrong? Only go up from
Oh,
here,
nice.
right?
Bill,
So
what's going
that
on with
was
you?
a thing.
Well, kind of as Carl said, we're kind of here.
Screwed.
I've gotten my 150th step for the weekend, according to the Fitbit. So yeah, haven't been moving around much.
150.
The good news, our camp is allowing the seasonal to come and use their units, seeing as how they're already there. They're still closed to any transient traffic. So we may be just scenery down to there sometime this week. So that'll be nice.
How do I get into your camp?
You gotta, specially petition the governor of Connecticut and prove that you're not a New Yorker.
It's kind of, it came down to the association argued that people have their property permanently there, so it's technically a residence. We pay property tax on the thing sitting there, so it's basically like a second house. Although the Cape has said not going to turn the water on anybody's seasonal second house to keep people out of there. But yeah,
Jesus.
Connecticut has allowed the seasonal campers to use their seasonal units.
Yeah, I read about that.
Wow. I hadn't heard
Yes,
the Cape
yeah.
thing. That's crazy. Okay. George, what's going on?
Oh, things are all right. I got a new client today, so that was pretty cool.
Congratulations. Okay. So, last time in game, here's what happened to y'all. You went to the Mosque of Ibn Tulan to stand guard duty. And after just enough hours for the boredom to set in, space and time warped around you, and this big, giant, 30-foot long snake monster with wings phased into existence and proceeded to attack you all. Apparently, every time that I rolled for either Martin or any of the NPCs, I rolled extreme successes and couldn't buy a hit when I was rolling for my monster. So you ended up dispatching it before it could kill any of you. Did try to kill Carl. Or Jesse. It did get one good bite in on him, which hurt like hell.
You are the GM. You can buy a hit if you want to. You
Well,
don't even have to tell us.
I
Oh.
try very hard to run a fair game. I roll in the open, so.
Can I take the box for rifle shotgun, even though you rolled it?
Actually, I was rolling your rifle. Yeah, you can tick the box for your 308. I did not tick the box for that.
Great.
Anyway, you found out after that you were guarding this ancient girdle, which you took back to the museum and spent a few days doing research at the museum. You found out it is one of the 3 sacred artifacts of Queen Nitocris. There is a girdle, a crown, and I should have looked this up before I started the sentence. Anyway, there's 3 sacred artifacts, and you figured out what you need to do if you are going to necklace, girdle, crown, and necklace. You figured out what you would need to do to destroy the girdle. Sadly, all of the things that you would need are beyond your reach, so that's not happening anytime soon. You also figured out that most likely the cult is going to try to resurrect Nitocris on the night of the 24th. It is currently the 18th, so there's a time factor involved as well. You spent a lot of time debating what to do with the girdle and eventually settled on, we're the PCs, damn it, we better keep it with us. And then decided, alright, fine, screw it, we're just gonna go into the belly of the beast and head on to Giza the next morning. So that was where we left it. It was Tuesday night. You were heading to bed at the hotel and planning to head to Giza first thing next morning. So,
Oh, have we not actually been to Giza yet?
you have not been to Giza.
Okay.
So, it is the morning of Wednesday, March 18th, 1925. You head downstairs to meet your dragoman, Selim, and head on to Giza. But, as you are about to meet with Selim, the concierge stops you and says, "Gentlemen, you have a telegram." And I am showing you this in Roll20 right now. It is from Jan Wilhelm von Hoevelen. It says, "Urgently need your assistance. Stop. Situation is dire. Stop. Please come at once."
Hmm. I forget. Did we try to meet with him last session or the session before?
Session
think we
before
did.
you met with Jan Wilhelm von Hoevelen. He is the Dutchman from the Clive expedition, and he is in the process of translating some very old scrolls, and you had offered to assist him with some of the translations. And that was where you were, and he gave you some information about the Clive expedition, about the disappearance of the mummy, and that's where you kind of left things. And you were supposed to meet up with him on Monday and to start helping him translate. Then you decided to blow him off to study the artifact. So for the next 2 days, you sent him telegrams saying, "Oh, sorry, can't meet you today. I'll meet you tomorrow." And
Sounds about right.
so now he's telling you that he urgently needs your help. So you were originally planning to go to Giza. You have this telegram, and so I'm going to ask you, what would you like to do?
Is it the evening? It
It
says.
is the morning. It is the first thing in the morning on Wednesday, the 18th.
Did that telegram come in the evening?
The telegram it was sent in the evening, and arrived at the hotel first thing this morning.
Oh.
Or overnight, it arrived at the hotel, and so the concierge gave it to you as soon as he saw you moving around this morning.
Guess we should go.
Yo,
Yeah,
Go
it does
go
say it's
go
urgent.
go to Giza or go to Jan Wilhelm?
I think we should go see Jan Wilhelm. He might have some information that would help us in Giza if he translated something.
Perfect.
And he's
For
got
God's
all
sakes,
those
there's
cats. He's got all the cats hanging around.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yes,
There's
and
a
you've noticed
prepared handout.
and you've weirdly noticed a bunch of cats around you since you talked to your good friend Jan Wilhelm.
Great. Whatever he's got is catching.
And praise Ra, we see the sun every day.
Something like that, yeah.
Ja.
To von Wilhelm.
To von Wilhelm.
Van Hoevelen.
Jan Wilhelm
Van-
von Hoevelen. Okay. Very well. Didn't know that you were... Okay. Cool.
Why would you give us a clue that broadly and think we weren't going to take it?
I honestly, if Oren was here, you probably wouldn't have taken it, which is why I prepped all of Giza. But no, okay, cool.
We'll go to Giza. How long is this going to take?
Okay, so you head over to.
If it's not important, we put 2 shots in him so he doesn't bother us again.
Light them on fire.
Okay, you head over to Jan Wilhelm von Hoevelen's crappy apartment.
Why so crappy?
Because he doesn't have a whole lot of money and is kind of a drunk. Okay, so you head on over there, and Jan Wilhelm looks a little bit worse for wear. He has a large scratch mark on the side of his face.
Cats?
And he also looks like he hasn't slept in quite a while and appears to be pretty fiercely hungover. And he sees you come in. Gentlemen, I'm so glad that you're here. I wish you had been here yesterday. It was crazy. First off, this cat came out of nowhere and jumped on me and scratched me up. And he points to the scratch marks on his face and lifts his pant leg, and he's got more scratch marks there. He says, then this woman came to me. She said her name was Nerisse. She at first seemed very nice and polite, but she asked me to return the scrolls to the temple. And when I refused, she became very angry and told me that the theft had brought the curse of the cats upon me, and that if I don't make amends, I'll feel the wrath of the goddess.
Is he gonna end up alone and surrounded by cats?
Even more, you mean?
At first I thought that she was just a crazy woman, and I didn't give it much mind, but then I got, then later in the evening, I was going to the wine shop to pick up something, and I saw this enormous. I I know it sounds crazy. These aren't natural to this part of the world, but I saw this immense giant black panther on the rooftop of the wine shop, and it pounced down at me and chased me for blocks. I finally managed to lose it, and that's when I doubled back to Western Union and sent the telegram to you and made it back to my home.
This just sounds a little too mundane for this type of shit.
I say, good lord, man. I think I'll need a drink after hearing that story. Did anyone else see this?
I don't know. I was too busy in fear of my life.
Like, was he in like a public street when like a panther came at him? Which are panthers like in the jungles?
Yeah, they don't so much hang out in downtown Cairo usually.
I mean, are they even in Africa?
Yeah, not so much.
Well, you don't see that every day, huh?
Right, the Jungle Book was India, so that's more.
It's getting like a Central America, South America phenomena.
There's jaguars and pumas and cougars kind of hang out in the lower east side.
So he says, I don't know what to do. I'm going to need you to protect me while I continue work on translating this work. I've got at least another month of work on
Another
this,
month.
and I can't possibly let it go at this point.
What do you have so far? What can you tell us? What is this leading to?
How much of this do we think he's honestly experienced, and how much of this do we think might be alcohol or some other substance induced?
Psychosomatic.
You're
Yeah.
welcome to make a psychology roll to try to find out.
What did I get? So successful. Ish.
Seamus has no idea. Jesse, you're pretty sure that he at least believes what he's saying.
Yes, he does.
As for what it is, as you recall, he has these 12th dynasty scrolls that he found. And when Lewis looked at them, Um, he was able to, because he's also speaks Dutch. He was able to read read Jan Wilhelm's translation, and they seem to spend a lot of time talking about Bast, the cat goddess. Jan Wilhelm was fairly cagey about where he actually found these scrolls.
Out of character, how important is this scroll to our particular quest?
Don't know yet.
Well, I guess that's up to you guys.
We're just gonna hang around here for a month.
Well, we can't hang around for the entire month because we have a ritual to stop as usual.
It, can he like make a copy of the scroll and then just give back the original?
Well, that's what he's trying to do. So the scrolls are, in ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics, and so a simple copy is, and they're extremely old, decaying papyrus. So even simple copying would take weeks.
Well, we have invented the camera, right? Can't you just take pictures of them? Because it seems like there's going to be accelerating consequences of this curse, right?
um,
Yeah, just take some pictures of it and give back the original. And so before you get eaten by like a lion or something.
it'd probably still take a bit of time, but yeah. Well, I ask him like, maybe it's time you shared the whole truth and nothing but the truth about where you got these scrolls. May be important for us to help you at all.
Yeah, you can come clean, or we're gone.
I'm not fighting no saber-toothed cat next.
So he eventually breaks down and tells you that Martin Winfield from the Clive expedition had told him about this secret temple below the streets of Cairo, and that he went in there one night. The temple was empty, although it did seem well kept for something that would have a set of scrolls this old. There was a large statue of Bast, the cat goddess, and in the base of it, he found a secret compartment that when he opened, it contained these scrolls. And so he realized what a great find this was and took them to start further study of them.
That's where it all started to go bad. How many times do I have to tell you, do not take the secret bass scrolls?
Everybody gangsta till they steal from the goddess.
um, yeah, that's a good question. Does anyone remember how did we stumble upon this? He's always had it?
he's had these scrolls for as long as you've known him. I mean, you only met him about a week ago.
How did we end up meeting him again?
Because he was part of that expedition that we
Oh,
were
the Clyde
interested in,
expedition.
right? And he got kicked off. So we were wondering what information, if any, he might had. And of course, he then took us down this unusual rabbit hole.
So side
Or
quest.
he said cat. I don't know what the equivalent for cats is. But whatever the equivalent for cats.
Litter box.
Yeah.
Oh man. So we've never looked at it directly ourselves.
You
right?
have never seen the originals, no. He showed you the translation the last time that you were here.
Were the translations interesting? I forget.
So Lewis had looked at them, and Lewis speaks Dutch, and had told you that the section that he read anyway, and he only looked at it briefly. There's at least 100 pages of translation so far, and the part that he'd looked at briefly dealt with religion and lore around the goddess Bast.
So what were the odds that we would find something related to the whole Black Tongue cult thing? Is that what that is even? Black Pharaoh. Bloody Tongue. Something like that.
Couldn't hurt to be on the good side of Bast if we're gonna face down against some other ancient evil.
I was just trying to figure out how much of this was directly in our. Is this a side quest or part of the main quest, we think?
I'm thinking this is probably side.
Not to metagame it too much.
Yeah.
How many scrolls did he take? If he's got 100 pages of translation, it's going to take him a month to finish it.
Yeah, I don't know. Should we go and check out the temple and see if there was anything else? There might be some kind of mystical, magical weapon or
So I think we could do.
artifact that we could use.
We could probably do one of three things, or split the party and do all of them. We could go to Giza and forget about this. Tell them to just put all that stuff back. We could stay here for a day or two and see what other kind of menacing thing happens, and maybe some clue occurs, or we could, I guess, look for the secret temple and go there ourselves. Although I'm not quite sure. I mean, it sounds like a secret temple where there are still secret worshippers or something. If it's kept in a somewhat orderly fashion. I don't know. That's what I got.
I mean, it is right here in Cairo, so it wouldn't be too much of a side quest.
But
Famous last words, I guess.
Is this the secret temple that we're interested in, or just another one?
I mean, we didn't even know about the secret temple until right now. So up to this very moment, we haven't been interested in it because we didn't know it existed.
Hey, if there's cultists around there, it's our responsibility to wander in, make a big mess. Maybe a couple high explosives, some rounds of ammunition go off. You know, the usual.
All right, the usual. Then I'm in.
Bring in some catnip, start throwing that around.
So we could do both of those things. So here's what I say. I say, so can we? I want to ask them, like, how many cat attacks have happened to you since the last time we spoke?
Well, a few.
Define a few. Greater than one? I guess greater than.
He looks really embarrassed by this line of questioning and says, You know, like he's acting like a petulant child. He's like, yeah, more than one.
Would you say it's a daily occurrence?
So at this point, a cat
Giant cat bursts through the door.
walks through the door, looks at all of you, kind of hisses, and then takes a swipe at Jan Wilhelm's leg, and then runs out again as Jan Wilhelm grabs a spoon and throws it at it.
This thing just closed the door.
Why doesn't he buy a dog?
Ooh. Now you're on to
So
something.
his shitty apartment, as to remind you, is in the back of a tanner's shop. I think it's a tanner's shop. So he doesn't really have so much of a door, as he's just got a curtain between the shop and a tailor shop. So, you know, he's got a little curtain between the tailor shop and the shitty little back room that he calls his apartment.
So what? He needs a month?
Yeah, he thinks he needs a month to finish the translation.
We could always put him in a room with a
He
door.
says he's about halfway done with it so far.
So he's been working on it for a month?
Yes.
So that's before he talked to us then.
Yes.
So wait, now cats are following us around?
You have noticed that cats have started showing up and following you around since you started talking to Jan Wilhelm.
Now we're going to get attacked by cats. Okay, so we can socially distance ourselves from him. We can put him in a room with a door. Or we could go to some secret temple and really wade into the deep end.
The
But
cats
it
are
seems.
prob-
Go ahead.
the cats are probably being sent by that evil high priestess, right?
Ooh,
So if
good.
we find her and whack her, then this would probably stop.
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
How do we
I
know that
asked if,
she's even evil?
well, but has she shown up like a lot?
All
Like,
cats,
bother
their
him.
default language is chaotic evil.
I'm gonna assume chaotic neutral. No, I asked Von Wilhelm, has that woman come around a lot?
He saw her for the first time yesterday.
Okay. But the cat assaults have been happening longer than yesterday.
Yes.
So it's not necessarily crazy old woman. I don't know, what do you guys want to do? Side quest or no side quest? Wait, what?
I say we just get a knock. Ugh.
That's proof of the evilness of cats.
Knocking stuff off the tables. And...
Well, I think we should just just deal with this, and if necessary, just knock him around, make him return the stuff, especially if it's not even important to us.
I'm watching a cat video now, damn it. I
It
mean,
might be.
we could also hedge our bets and like say, hey, you can work in a hotel room until we get back from Giza and see what happens to him.
He'll probably be eaten by.
It's entirely possible, but
Can
we could
hook 'em up
string the
with
side quest along for a while.
hook him up with the museum and have him under the guidance over there. Just have those guys babysit him.
Yeah, I'm thinking of something like that. Like, I mean, we could tell him to put it back. I mean, I don't know why he would listen to us. The the cats would probably convince him. I don't know. That'd be my vote. I vote we don't do the side quests ourselves, but if we want to keep a panther's a big deal. Where's panther come from? I don't know. That's what I think.
I'm thinking it'd be nice to have Bast on our side if need be. There might be
Oh,
some
so tell
way
him to put the stuff back.
If this is a different cult, we can have our own cult and that cult.
Are you saying we should start our own cult?
Or maybe meet up with this priestess and see what she has to offer if we can get the scrolls back for her.
Well, that's not a bad idea. Does he know where to find her?
He has no idea. She found him.
But only that one time.
Yesterday, yes.
So we don't know if we'll ever see her again.
He's probably going to show up to this guy again, maybe after she whacks him.
All right.
We could go to the temple and talk to the high priestess, and like Alistair suggests, maybe we could sell him out. What can we get out of it?
I mean, was there anybody in the secret temple? Like he just found it. Like
He
he
said
just
there was
looted it, so I
nobody.
assume there was no one there.
There was
Yeah.
no one there when he went.
There might be
Right.
other artifacts or something.
Okay, so we could convince him to return it. We could take the stuff from him. In fact, we could. I mean, does he knows how to get back there though, right?
He has not told you where it is, other than that it is under the old city.
Okay, but we assume that he could find his way back if he had to. So we can convince him to return it. Wait, so did misfortune be kind of happen to everybody in the Clive expedition?
So, Jan Hoevelen was Jan Wilhelm von Hoevelen was kind of the scapegoat after the mummy got stolen. And you have not taken the opportunity to meet up with anyone else from the Clive expedition. You know that they have moved on to Memphis after their dig site in Giza was compromised.
Okay.
But that's all you really know about them.
All right. Do you want to talk him into returning the stuff?
Yeah, I think we can go with them and kind of go into the temple to return it.
Or offer to do it ourselves if he's feeling.
It's the way to get the curse off of him.
It's a curse. All right.
Yeah, it's the land of curses, isn't it?
Mummies and curses. Still waiting for my mummy. All right, we'll do that then if people are up for that. Would be like so the panther was like the biggest thing that attacked him so far.
Yes.
Is this like did gradually bigger things attack him?
It escalated from house cats to he saw the panther last night when he went out to get
Crap.
more booze.
So we say, like, look, friend, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but we went from house cats to panther. If I were you, I wouldn't be sticking around to find out what is next after panther. I'm thinking lion. What do you guys think? Is lion bigger than panther?
Maybe it'll be an eldritch horror.
I don't know. There's at least one step between panther and eldritch horror. Can't just go directly from that.
You get your lions and tigers, and then you get your liger,
Tigers, yes.
known
Right,
for their skills in magic.
I'm thinking at the at the rate of the big cat hierarchy escalation, you got about 2 days before you hit the liger. Maybe you should think twice about keeping on translating this thing. In fact, we'll take it back for you if you want.
So I'm gonna need some sort of either charm, persuade, or intimidate because he is not incented to get rid of his.
Oh yeah.
So close.
All right,
If
Seamus.
it-
Seamus, tell me what you're saying to him to get your successful roll here. You're
Oh, you're
muted,
muted.
Sean.
There's a lot of things in this reality, such as unmuting your damn microphone when you're talking, that we mere mortals don't understand. And we've seen a lot of things. And I can tell you one, unless you have a really, really good reason, you don't go and poke the bear
or the cat.
or the cat in this case.
Big
And you, my
cat.
friend, have poked
Big.
something that clearly doesn't want to be poked.
No one likes pokers.
Yeah. You know, and
No one likes pokers.
you're like anything. If it's a situation that you can deal with, you got to deal with it forthright and straight on. Or in some cases, just you apologize and try to make amends and then get the hell out of there.
He's got a choice between breathing and cat food.
It's like when you're in a bar and you accidentally spill somebody's drink. You know, there's two ways. It can either be end up being a bar fight, or you go and replace the guy's drink.
Okay.
We're gonna go replace the guy's drink because I don't think any of us want.
In fact, we'll buy you a drink.
Yes.
He is not happy with this, but he rubs his scars from his scratches and kind of looks up at you and says, "All right. Guess I didn't need to be famous anyway." And so he goes under his his cots and grabs the scrolls and says, "All right, I think I can find the way." And so you all set out. You're being followed by
Cats.
a large amount of cats. Like every street corner you get to, there's a bunch of cats watching you. There's a bunch of cats following you. It's actually kind of creepy, and I'm gonna ask you for sanity rolls.
What, really?
It's super weird and creepy. Like this
I
is
have
like
hardened.
this is like Pied Piper shit.
I have hardened. I'm immune to mass quantities of cats. It's my
Ooh.
fucking character sheet.
If you fail, you only lose one point.
Success. So hardened.
What do you
One
do?
time in band camp, I saw twice as many cats.
Let's see. Where is Santa? Pass. Yeah, he passed. Okay.
What do you do if you fumbled?
I'll still say it's only 1 point.
Turn into a cat.
I stared into the heart of darkness. It was furry.
You become a furry.
Oh no!
You're definitely not getting yourself a pet cat after this.
So he kind of wanders around the old city for a while. You get the feeling that he might have had a couple this morning. But eventually he leads you down the right alley, and there's a hidden set of stairs at the far end of the alley. And
We go down it.
underneath, the underground temple turns out to be a large dome-like space about 40 feet across. Its walls are dotted with many nooks and crannies, within which its feline worshippers perch and lurk, their wise and alien eyes glistening in the soft glowing light from a small brazier that casts shadows across the whitewashed walls. Against the wall opposite the entrance is a 7-foot tall statue of a beautiful cat headed woman seated on a throne. You immediately any of you with any points in archaeology immediately recognize this as a statue of Bast. The statue is carved from a single block of obsidian.
Impressive. Most impressive.
Coming out of the darkness, out of the shadows, is a young woman. She, you would guess, is in her early 20s. And Jan Wilhelm looks a little bit frightened when he sees her. You guess that this is the woman that he saw yesterday, and she says, "Greetings. I am Nerys, High Priestess of Bast. Thank you for convincing this one to return our most holy relics." And at that point, Lewis kind of kicks Jan Wilhelm from behind, and he hands over the papyrus scrolls. And she tells all of you, as a token for your assistance in this matter, I give you this. And she hands each of you a small carved stone pendant in the form of a cat.
Woohoo.
So,
What does this do?
she says it marks you as one of Bast's favored.
Well, at least there's somebody, so we got that going for us.
Yeah.
It's better than being marked by cults and Black Pharaoh followers.
Take what we can get, man.
I thank her for the favor of her god, and I guess, I don't know, is there anything else left for us to do here?
That is it. So, you all get 3 points of sanity back as a reward for
So sane.
So it was worthwhile.
solving this.
Nice.
And
Okay, let's call it a day.
get-
We don't.
not getting anyone killed.
Let's just quit.
33!
Let's just quit while we're ahead. Wait, so how does this work again? There's 3 numbers. 55. I got 55, 64, 86 in the sanity box.
I believe the middle number is the
Wait, let me roll this and see which one it uses. Yeah, okay, it uses the middle one. So
think the
add
first-
3.
add 3.
Yeah,
What is the first number then?
That's what you started with, and I think the middle one is what your current sanity is, and then the final one is your max sanity.
Oh,
Which is
because
should
it's
be 99 minus Cthulhu Mythos.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Damn, Cthulhu
What's-
keeps making you learn stuff.
Then what's that last one? The small one.
There's a small one.
There's a
don't see a
small one.
I don't see a small one on the.
There's actually 4 lines or 4 numbers. There's 5. Like after the max sanity, there's like I have 69, and it's like in a small text box. I don't know how to explain that.
Mine just shows. I'm looking on Lewis's sheet, and it just shows start. Oh, that might be your. Is that what your power is? Because your original
No.
sanity
Yes.
starts off as your power.
That's the number on the far left, so that makes sense. So that 55 is my power, and the first number in the row is 55. And then my roll is keyed off the middle number,
Yes,
and then
which goes up and down depending on.
right. All right, you know what? It doesn't matter. If no one knows what it is, and it can't be useful for anything.
Okay. What's next?
All right, back on the Giza train, I guess.
Yeah, is there still
absolutely.
time to go to Giza?
Just make sure he's so we pretty much the cats are now leaving him alone and leaving us alone, more importantly.
So Jan Wilhelm took off after giving the scrolls to Nerys, and she tells you yes, the cats will no longer pursue you.
Oh, even better. Can we do like the Bart Simpson thing and have like an unholy army of cats?
And I tell her I'd be very careful. He's probably likely to come back looking for those things again.
Yeah, keep it moving.
Trust me, he will not.
Give
Find
it to
them
us.
again.
We're moving around with stuff.
No, they will remain here. They are part of our sacred worship.
Y'all don't have like a bag of cats like the crazy cat lady I can just be throwing at the bad guys, or a cat launcher like Mayor West, and
We're shielded. What do we got? Like protection from evil and the cat necklace?
There's a comic I read called the League of Redundant Superheroes, and in there's a villain that has cat telekinesis.
That's
So he has
just
telekinesis
frightening.
that only works on cats
That's
and
just frightening.
and cougars, apparently, of the East Side.
The League of Redundant Superheroes. So basically, any team that also includes Superman.
Yes. Okay, so yeah, I guess it's back on the Giza train.
Okay. You head back over to your hotel. The concierge tells you that since you just kind of took off, Salim has taken another client for the day. So you are welcome to wait until Friday for him, or if you just want to head to Giza by yourself, he can exchange your tickets and you can get on the afternoon tram to Giza.
I don't know. I think we should wait for the Dragoman. What do you guys think?
The concierge tells you that the Mina House Hotel typically has dragoman and tour guides and other people. It's in it's at the basically at the end of the tram line in Giza. If you would prefer to go today, otherwise, if you want to wait till the weekend, then Salim would be available.
So how many days wait would that be?
The earliest that he would be around would be Friday, and it is currently Wednesday.
Why don't we just get moving? As much as I might like to look or wait with the Dragoman, why don't we get moving and what's it we could do? If
We
we
have
need him,
cursed.
could we make arrangements to notify the hotel, have him sent down on when he's free, if we still need him or need us
That
in Giza?
that's possible. Yes, if he's not otherwise engaged.
Okay. I think once we get there, we'll know pretty quickly if we need him or not. For anything greater than just the standard tour guide experience. What do you guys say?
Yeah, we should probably keep moving the contraband around.
Yep.
Okay. Does anyone speak Arabic?
The guy who's not here.
Yes, Lewis speaks Arabic. Not terribly well, but enough to get by.
Okay. We can go.
Okay. Get on the tram and start heading to Giza.
Something horrible happens to us.
It changed.
You map.
That's not a good sign.
Okay, so located to the southwest of Cairo on the west bank of the River Nile, the Giza Plateau is home of the last remaining wonder of the ancient world, the Great Pyramids of Cheops, Chephren, and Mycerneus. A popular tourist destination, although not for the faint-hearted, the pyramid complex is easily reached by the tram from the center of Cairo. Tickets for guided tours of the pyramid can be obtained from an office along the street. From the Mina House Hotel, close to where the Cairo tram terminates. Otherwise, scores of dragoman offer camel and donkey tours for those wishing to obtain an overview of the site. The Mina House Hotel is also a welcome respite from the heat and the chaos, providing 4-star service to its invariably wealthy clientele. As might be expected, the plateau is home to numerous archaeological digs, particularly those funded by the Vienna Academy of Sciences and Harvard University in association with the Boston Museum of Fine Arts. Yeah, so that is where you are. Lewis had made arrangements through his political contacts to get you a meeting with the police, which you should still be able to just about make on time if you want to hustle over to the police station now. Otherwise, tell me what you would like to do.
I think it's probably a good idea to make the contact, and let's make the meetings what we can. I mean, we are on a timeline.
Yeah, we can at least get a little bit of information about what they know about the disappearance.
Yeah, and unless somebody can come up with a really good mechanism by which we just put the item they're looking for in a field of high explosives, so we can activate like a nice mousetrap to the cultists. May not do much to the artifact, but take care of some cultists.
Will we leave the girdle with the cats? With the secret temple to Bath?
Can we or did we?
I don't think we did, but
You did not.
If we're in that, or if we're on that team now, maybe they'll help us.
So, you weren't here last session. The doctor from the museum, who knows quite a bit about sorcery, said that he believed that all of the protective spells that he has on his vault would be unable to protect against the cult getting hold of this thing. And he assumed that the mosque itself was probably similarly religiously protected, and that didn't stop that eldritch horror from coming after it. So,
What about Gato Malo? That guy's a gangster.
So you're saying one priestess isn't going to be enough? Is that what you're saying?
They got a Black Panther, right?
Oh, Black Panther. Fight the power.
He's like got
I
a
don't
suit
know.
with vibranium and stuff.
I think you're going to need a 6, maybe even a 7 of princesses, of priestesses.
No, I mean, yeah, I don't know. Let's go to police station.
okay.
We'll argue about that along the way.
Okay, you head to the police station. So you meet with two detectives from the district police station in Giza. They appear somewhat. So they let you in and say, gentlemen, we understand that you wanted to speak with us. What can we do for you?
Well, we'd like to get some information about the disappearance of a possible artifact that the Carlisle expedition may have uncovered.
So they look a little bit embarrassed at this and say, yes, the disappearing mummy. Well, here's the story as best we've heard it. The Clive expedition were in the process of making preparations for the removal of the casket and the mummy in conjunction with the Egyptian authorities. 3 nights later, terrible screams echoed from inside the pyramid. When the archaeologists investigated, they found that the mummy, the sarcophagus, and the 2 Egyptian police guards were missing without a trace. My guards have not been found and are presumed dead. No one knows how the thieves succeeded in removing an alabaster sarcophagus weighing several tons so quickly. It would have taken the expedition several days, yet from the time the hideous cry to the time that the party entered the pyramid, no more than 20 minutes had elapsed. Close examination of the scene showed that the dust in the corridors was undisturbed except by the identifiable footprints of the expedition's members and other antiquities authorities. There were no signs of roller marks or wear at inclines and elevations along the corridors where any winches the thieves might have used would need bracing. Everyone expresses bafflement at this turn of events and worries that this inexplicable loss will discredit the great work of the Clive expedition and any other expeditions. James Gardner of the Clive expedition theorized that there must be a secret passage leading someplace else, perhaps to one of the other pyramids. The detective tells you, my men and I searched for a secret passage in the pyramid for days after the mummy was stolen, but eventually we gave up when our efforts found nothing of interest.
And this was in the Mycerinus.
Yes.
Yes, the smallest of the 3. Correct.
Yes, okay. Correct.
Oh, I didn't notice that the map had changed. Has anyone else been back to the site since?
Well, this was months ago, so tourism has resumed. You can still get guided tours of the pyramid. Matter of fact, interest has, of course, spiked with the finding of this mummy, and then its fast disappearance.
Does he think we could maybe get an after hours look at all this stuff ourselves?
I mean, you could go anytime you want. The pyramids are open to the public.
Do they have, who's their prime suspects, if any?
I'm embarrassed to say that we don't have any. We're completely baffled as to how this is even physically possible.
So am I.
All right, I think we need to go poke around in there. Start pulling levers and pushing buttons and put the candle back in the holder. Take the candle out of the holder, put the candle back in the holder.
Okay, and I said, you haven't heard of any activity of those men that may have lost their senses and lost their ways out of, cultish behaviors, giving old nonsensical beliefs, putting value,
I haven't heard anything like that.
Yeah, always as it gets closer to the full moon, there's always going to be whack jobs running around calling upon old gods and things, and I'm just wondering if there's some kind of spike in that kind of behavior.
We we don't get that sort of activity down here in Giza. We're fairly civilized.
Understood.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Bad.
Is
Anyone
there
else got any ideas?
is there anything else that you would like to know?
Is there any warnings or reasons that they thought they were before the theft that they might have needed to have additional security? It's just standard security
Just
that was right.
standard security. Whenever any significant fines happen, that triggers immediate police protection to ensure that none of the artifacts would leave the country.
Without authorization.
I hate to point fingers, but there have been a number of our cultural fines that have left the country under, shall we say, honorable circumstances. And so we work together with the country's antiquities board to ensure that fines are treated reverently and aren't liberated.
Rare items cause desire amongst those power and wealth. Status symbols. So I completely understand.
The mummies. So, okay. Sorry, I'm just reading back and my notes from way back. Is anyone, have they confirmed that it was the mummy of Queen Necrosis? Necrotis? Necrosis? Necrotis? I don't know, something like that.
So
Bad spelling.
make a spot hidden roll.
Me?
Sure.
Or just like anybody?
Hard success. Okay, so
Spots and hidden.
when you mention Queen Nitocris, you notice one of the officers, not the one that you're talking to, but the other one, make a warding sign against the evil eye as soon as you speak her name. The guy that you're talking to says, no, it was not actually confirmed that it was Queen Nitocris. That was a suspicion, but Dr. Clive seemed to think that it wasn't terribly likely. But we never got to authenticate the mummy before it vanished.
Who did Clive think it might be then?
He wasn't sure.
Someone of no significance then?
He seemed loath to speculate until the mummy could be authenticated dated, and more scientific research put on it.
Typical scientists. Would you happen to know what happened to him? Is he around?
He took his expedition to Memphis after the disappearance of the mummy.
See, what's he doing there?
Another dig.
So much digging. Wow. Interesting. So we know these people are at least scared of the old queen. And we know that she's linked to the Black Pharaoh worshippers. And I have some random thing that says there are the Great Sphinx of Egypt, or Giza, is being used in terrible rituals.
As I said, we looked all over for any sort of secret passage, but came up empty.
This is at Mycerinus?
Yes.
Right.
I think we need to go poke around there.
We
guys.
the only thing that we did find was a hidden shaft near to the pyramid, but other archaeologists at Giza identified it as a burial shaft, of which there are many dotted about the ruins on the plateau. And as baffling as the theft was already, it was beyond comprehension that someone could get a sarcophagus of that size down a vertical shaft outside the pyramid without anyone at a nearby camp noticing.
Yes, it seems like the Egyptians are full of mysteries like this. How all this stuff got built in the first place. All right. I mean, I don't know if you guys have any other thing. Otherwise, I will say, all right. Well, this is baffling indeed. Mind if we, since we're here, mind if we take a look around the site ourselves?
No, please. It's a open tourist attraction, so feel free to, if you want to visit the pyramid, there's a ticket booth over by the Mina House Hotel, where you can either do a tour of the pyramid itself, or you can get a camel or donkey back tour of the entire plateau. Feel free to look around at your leisure. It's no longer an active crime scene. We've given up on it, frankly.
Were they following any leads that they thought were promising that they've given up on, or?
The only lead we had was that we had heard from it was suggested to us by James Gardner, who was one of the members of the Clive expedition, that he thought that there must be tunnels running secret passages that would lead to tunnels under the pyramids, and that would be the only way to get that sarcophagus out so quickly. But we searched the whole of the area in the pyramid where the sarcophagus was being kept, and we didn't find anything.
All right, fair enough. I don't know if you guys have any other things.
Go check that out.
All right. Thank him for his time, and we'll let him know if we find anything.
And if he hears anything, please keep us in the loop, so to speak.
How many months ago was this?
This was about 3 months ago.
Okay.
Okay. I think
Going in for the night.
this is probably a good time for us to take our break. A little after 9. Let's take a 10-minute break, come back at quarter after, and we'll do the second half. Or we can decide at the break that maybe we'll do the second half next time. We'll figure it out.
Okay.
All right. Those of you on Twitch, enjoy the break music.